Welcome to another Beluga Podpod. Today we're going to be talking about some weird, creepy, and sad, and funny Pokédex entries. Today with me I have Cloud Cows, aka Brandon, Josh, aka Onesook,
You just stop.
Logan, aka Loquan, John Pierre, aka Loki Trickster, and Midsummer's Dream, aka Yarum. 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 One of those is right, and I will cut out the wrong ones.
I'm trying so hard not to laugh.
One more time, say one more time.
Ya,
Yarum.
Yarum.
Ya.
Yarum.
Yarım,
Yarum.
Yeah,
Yarum.
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 yarım.
So let's start out with the saddest Pokédex entry. Let's go with Brandon. What do you have for the saddest Pokédex entry going from Gen 1 through Gen 7?
Okay, so I first immediately thought of Cubone, but I was looking back into my other favorite Pokemon, and here's his Fire Red Pokedex entry. He is virtually useless in both terms of power and speed. It is the most weak and pathetic Pokemon in the world. It's Magikarp.
But you could use it as a weapon.
You could beat other Magikarps with Magikarp.
Or you could have it in jump tournaments.
Yeah,
True.
Oh, there you
Jump.
go.
It's got hops.
in the air. It's got hops. Its other Pokedex entry is sometimes it hops in the air for no reason, and Pidgeotos grab it mid-jump.
Is that a legit thing?
Yeah,
it's a
it's
legit
the-
thing that they put in the Magikarp game.
For no reason here, I'll send you their silver entry. For no reason, it jumps and splashes about, make it easy for predators like Pidgeot to catch it. For no reason.
Wow, that's so bad.
Literally the most useless thing I've ever seen.
I mean, I'm surprised the survival of the fittest hasn't, taken a toll on this.
No, but
Right.
it's very fertile. That's another entry.
I was gonna say, don't they like breed like crazy?
They breed in.
Oh, dude, I
Rock-
just
rock
realized.
paper.
So, Magikarp is a carp, and we have an infestation of Asian carp in freaking Lake Michigan right now
Oh, nice.
in the
We've
tributary.
had that for years,
Yeah,
though.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if Magikarp was based off of that, or
Maybe.
where's the Pidgeotos at?
Clearly, we need to release giant birds into the city.
Have you guys seen the anime where I think they go to Safari Zone, and before that, Team Rocket is in a Magikarp submarine, and you find out that James's Magikarp can't even swim.
What?
the fuck?
Yeah, so
Even more useless.
in the
Yeah,
anime,
I
James,
remember that.
yeah, James bought a Magikarp from a peddler for a ridiculous amount of money. I think it was like 500 Pokédollars or something.
Just like
Yeah.
the
And he
video
finds
game.
out, yeah, when the ship or submarine was sinking, he brings out Magikarp, and he was like so proud of it because he's like, oh, this Pokemon will swim me back up. He brings it out, and the Magikarp couldn't even swim.
Yeah, it was also a Magikarp painted gold. Remember
Yeah.
that. Don't forget that part.
Holy crap, fake shinies?
It teaches kids about real life. You gotta watch
James
out,
bought
man.
it.
Real life of what?
People be selling fake shit.
Yep. So that is pretty
Be
sad.
hustling.
What do you have for us, Logan? What is your saddest Pokemon entry?
So Kadabra, I think in the most recent game. So I think in Sun, its entry changed from like it having like supernatural powers to when a young boy couldn't control his powers, he ended up transformed into a Kadabra.
I do
So
remember
kids
that.
just become these ugly ass Kadabras.
I think
It's
that
like
was there before too, actually, because I remember thinking about that during the anime when they're fighting Sabrina, because Sabrina had a Kadabra, I believe.
yeah.
The first entry where they talk about kids is Fire Red. It
Oh,
just
okay.
says, it happened one morning. A boy with extrasensory powers awoke in bed, transformed into Kadabra.
Yep.
Wow. So all these missing
And it's
kids.
just like fucks up these parents. Like their
Well,
kid just turns into a Pokemon.
It's also very weird because Kadabra evolved from Abra. So the question is,
Well, I,
what's
thi-
an Abra?
I think an Abra was like a deformed child.
Child.
Is what one entry said somewhere.
Okay,
And then there was like
Okay.
another entry that said Abra took over a child's body and it became a Kadabra. I don't know. It's really weird.
Nice. And also, there's the Alakazam entry where Alakazam is supposed to be like 10 times smarter than a human, but for some reason, it's not the trainer. Yeah, Alakazam could solve her problems if it was that smart, but it's choosing to be a Pokemon.
Hey, it's living a simple life. It's enlightened.
That's probably it.
Hey, he can Mega Evolve if he gets all the way to the top, you know?
Turn into Gandhi. Fight with passive aggression. Alright, so
Jeez.
what do you have for Saddest? Yedam.
I really
One of
tried
these
not to
days I'll
laugh.
get it.
I really tried not to laugh. Well, since you all are taking my Pokemon, I had to quickly look up another sad entry, and I did find something. All right, are you guys ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
No.
So a Nosepass, because its nose is magnetic, right? If two Nosepasses meet, they repel each other. So Nosepass can never find its true love because it always repels.
Oh, that's actually
sad.
really sad.
Other nose-
That's terrible.
Isn't it
Dude, that's
awful?
way sadder than Magikarp. What the hell?
And then they reproduce.
They just
Dittos.
never meet.
Dittos
Yeah,
don't.
with Dittos.
Dittos
That's
aren't
the only
Yeah,
way.
magnetic.
Dittos, yeah, that's what it is. But a Nosepass can never meet its other half because it's always repelling each
That's
other.
so sad.
Damn.
Those poor nose passes.
It's
Yep.
a little on the nose there. That name.
Stop
It-
it.
Stop.
Well,
But
there's
it does
also
bad things.
there's also that one Pokédex entry that stated, I forgot which generation this was, that their nose always points north. So how does that work? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes
So
the
does it just,
entries
like,
contradict
turn
each
around?
other.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's always facing north, then when in battle, Nosepass could be completely useless sometimes.
Oh yeah, he's useless
Or-
all the time.
Does like
And
the nose move?
I think the nose moves. I want to say that.
Probably. He
Yeah.
is literally a mineral. Maybe his nose does move around with him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fun.
I mean, people usually take this Pokemon for granted too.
Was that a rock joke?
I thought, wow.
That was a rock joke. That's why I heard it. I didn't say anything. I just let it.
All right, we're cutting that.
Ugh.
No, but what's cool is his evolution Probopass. You know how he has a mustache? Those are all iron filings.
Oh, wait, are they really?
Oh,
Yeah,
makes sense.
that's why he has it.
What?
What was your saddest entry, JP?
Well, at first I was going to go with Mimikyu, but the Pokédex entries doesn't really support the sad part of it. Instead, what I was going to go with is Absol, because
No! Son of a bitch! Oh, I gotta go with something. Keep talking.
okay, because Absol has the ability to sense natural disasters, and since he shows up all the time during natural disasters, there were rumors that he was causing the natural disasters. It was like a myth. And so he became a hated and feared Pokemon, and so all the people just like, anytime it's on Absol, they drive it away because they'd be like, no, you're bringing bad luck. And so they eventually drove all the Absols into the mountains, away from all people.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna add on a little bit since I did pick that Pokemon also. Basically, he's just trying to help. He was just trying to help the people, but the people thought that he was the cause of it.
Okay. Since Carl lost one, let me bring up. I want to go back to Cubone real quick. Just like a little quick thing. So everyone knows Cubone. He's like famous for getting shit on, because he wears his mother's skull. But like recently in one of the Pokedex entries, apparently there's a Pokemon that's a vulture now. Apparently when it cries out for its mother, this vulture can hear it and then it swoops down to eat this thing.
Holy
It's like-
crap!
Oh
It's
my
additional
gosh.
shit on. I was just like, when it cries for its dead mother, the vulture can hear it.
Wow, that's
Oh my
really
God.
messed up.
Jeez.
But yeah, keep going.
I have one.
All right, Josh, go ahead. What was your saddest Pokédex entry?
Spoink.
God damn it, Josh! Okay, you can't do that because that was one of mine. People can't be taking mine.
All right, Carl. I'll let you have
But
this one.
let me have that for my funniest, Josh.
What?
Saddest, funniest. They're very
Get
loose.
out of here.
Bidoof is a very sad Pokemon because he's got nothing on him.
Hey
That
man,
makes
all
him
those
desirable.
TMs.
What? What?
Yeah,
What?
Bidoof is
TM?
the best HM slave.
Yeah.
I thought that was Zigzagoon. No. Yeah, isn't it Zigzagoon?
It's Bidoof.
All right, so I guess I'll do my saddest Pokédex entry since Absol got taken. The next one that I have is Esper. Esper is this cat-looking Pokemon in Generation 6, Pokemon X and Y. This Pokemon has big round eyes that are just staring into the abyss. And basically the reason it's like that is because it has so much psychic power that it could kill everything within a 300-yard radius. But the reason why it looks like it's always struggling and like staring into the abyss is because it's holding its power back. So it's actually
Jeez.
who's the guy in Akira?
Tatsuo?
Oh
It's
my God.
Tatsuo.
Yeah.
Yup, it's actually Esper is actually a more controlled Tatsuo. Esper is doing everything it can to control its power.
Jeez.
That's messed up, man.
Yup. All right, so moving on, let's go on to the like after hearing that, let's just take it down a few pegs by going to the creepiest Pokédex entries. Let's go with Yaram. Yaram.
Yadam.
This is gonna be a trip. Anyways, so saddest Pokedex entry.
No,
Creepiest.
Oh,
creepiest.
creepiest. Whoops. So I have Gorbis over here. Everyone remember that pink, cute, beautiful, and
Oh, the
has-
I
thing that
do.
should.
I do.
Yeah, the
I was
thing
gonna
that
put that
should.
as
the
mine.
fish. It's
Oh.
the evolution of the clamshell Pokemon. Clamperl. Gorbis is Sapphire entry. Talks about how when it swims around, when it finds prey, it inserts its mouth into the prey's body and then drains all of its body fluids.
Oh, so she's like a sea spider. Does she liquefy the insides?
It doesn't say, but it just says it sucks out all of the insides fluid.
Only the fluid, so that means all the solid parts stay solid.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I
all
mean-
of your blood is gone and you're dead.
At least she's leaving a body for the family.
Jeez. Or another husk for like another Pokemon to come and eat.
Yeah.
I
It's-
guess.
You can't leave anything uneaten or unused. It's the nature way.
There's a use for everything in this world.
Have you heard of the Pokédex entry for Marini?
No.
This isn't mine, but I'm just gonna piggyback it off of that because I noticed that there's a lot of messed up water Pokemon entries. The Pokédex entry for Marini, which is a Coral Eater Pokemon introduced in Gen 7. Marini is the natural predator of Corsola. When she walks around, she leaves a trail of coral bits that were all Corsola body parts. And this is an in-game mechanic where the only way to find a Marini is to fight a Corsola and lower its health to where it calls on its friends. And if it keeps calling its friends enough, there's a chance that instead of calling its friends, a Marini comes in because it ate its friend.
That's messed up.
So, all right. So, what are your creepy Pokemons, Brandon?
One of the creepiest entries for me, Drifloon. This guy, he goes around searching for children, and he like picks them up and just drags them away to the afterlife. It's from the Sun entry. But you're walking alone at night, you're playing with your friends. It's like a little past 9 o'clock, and like a straight up balloon you see in the background. Kids will walk at a balloon. I'm like, oh, dude, a balloon, and like it just grabs you, and you're just in the air, just floating. Like, fuck. Something kind of hilarious about that on a happier note. It dislikes fat kids.
Oh,
It's a racist
That's
child
not-
no,
feeling.
it's body shaming.
Yeah, it's a body shaming.
It's 2017,
It's
man.
2017. This balloon won't take fat kids.
Ugh.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if this is where they got it from, but one of my favorite artists, Junji Ito, he's a manga artist. He wrote a manga called Floating Heads, and in that story, missing and dead people show up as giant floating heads in the sky, and then eventually they float off and disappear forever.
Why?
I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a really cool manga. You should read it. Junji Ito, he's famous for taking things that are not scary and trying to turn it scary, like his other graphic novel, Uzumaki. It's about a town obsessed with spirals.
Oh, I heard about that. I heard it's actually really good.
It's great.
Is he the guy who did the thing about everyone has like a hole in a mountain? Just fit for
Yes.
them. That same
Yes,
guy.
that is the fault at Yaginawa Prefecture or something. He is the inspiration for Silent Hill.
Oh.
Nice.
On that note, what was your creepiest Pokédex entry, JP?
My creepiest Pokedex entry is Beware. It's kind of sad too. Beware is the evolution of Stuffle from Pokemon Sun and Moon. Anyways, the entry says this Pokemon has a habit of hugging its companions, but it's so strong that many trainers have left the world because their spines have been snapped by its
Have
hugs.
left the world.
Just straight up,
That phrasing.
he just like
Left his
kills.
plane of
He kills
existence.
people by hugging them so hard.
Oh wow, so it's
Jesus.
another level of bear hugging.
It's sad.
It is sad. It counts a little as both sad and creepy.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. The thing is too, like it looks so friendly.
Right? If it came up wanting a hug from me, I'd give it a hug.
Yeah, and it's so
Nice.
fluffy.
But instead
right.
it'll kill you.
On accident though, so it's okay.
It's forgivable.
Alrighty then.
You rolled a 20 for apology.
Oh my god, there's a picture of him hugging. I guess in the anime, there's a gag where he keeps hugging Team Rocket.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I-
actually watched the first 2 episodes, and he was there like in the first episode along with Mimikyu.
It
Wait, so
was-
he's a Team Rocket Pokemon now? Because in the first 2
No.
episodes they didn't catch him.
Okay, so Beware in the anime is a continuous running gag where it'll show up to take Team Rocket away.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah,
like
it's
it has tea parties with it and stuff.
yeah, they never catch Beware because they don't. Team Rocket doesn't want Beware, but Beware just keeps taking away. That's the running gag. It was like the Jigglypuff back in the original Pokemon series where Jigglypuff would show up, sing, and then draw on everyone's faces.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember they used to have a Wobbuffet. That was great.
They still have
Wobbuffet.
Wobbuffet.
That was it. Yeah, that's all you
I
ever
miss
did.
that, and I miss Victory Bell.
Oh, Victory
God.
Bell was
Oh yeah, I forgot
Oh,
about
yeah.
Victory Bell.
I think
yeah,
I think every generation of the anime, they have one Pokemon that just like messes with James.
Man, you know what? Speaking of James, I really want to see his Growlithe again. Growly.
Yeah.
Oh
He was
So
such
cute.
a loyal Pokemon.
I actually really like that episode.
yeah, it was a really sad episode.
All right, so Logan, what was your creepiest Pokemon?
Mine is Heatmore from Black, I think.
Which one is that one? Is that the Anteater?
Yeah, it's the Anteater, the fire.
Oh, okay.
And I think its Pokedex entry was, yeah, using their very hot flame covered tongues, they burn through Durant's steel and consume their insides.
That reminds me of Gorbis.
Yeah, kind
Ah.
of similar.
So, fun fact, Durant's Pokédex entry states that the reason... so, Durant is a steel type, and its Pokédex entry states that the reason it has a steel shell is because it evolved it to protect itself from Heatmore, but steel is weak to fire, which is what Heatmore is. So, I don't think evolution worked the way it wanted to.
No,
Nope.
that
Not even
hurts.
close.
Rip.
It was reverse evolution.
They need to go to the Alohan areas and just completely reverse what they did.
So, Josh, do you have any thoughts on these creepy ones? Which ones are your favorites? Out of the ones that we mentioned, because you're not allowed to pick one.
Why not,
Jesus.
Carl?
Jeez.
Well, I was gonna say like, well, I just read up on this. Parasect is also a little bit.
God damn it! Are you shitting me, Josh? I told you you can't pick one. Because that was mine. Josh,
I am on a
Josh,
roll
are you
today,
in
huh?
his house, like looking at his notes?
Josh, are you? Am I screaming right now?
Carl, please leave you screaming in
Like
the
all
podcast.
3 of mine actually basically got picked. Parasect, Absol, and Spoink.
Alright, Carl. I'll let you have
Oh my God, Josh! I said from the ones that were picked, which one was the
I didn't know
creepiest?
you picked that one.
Oh, you know what? You're right because I forgot to do mine first.
Yeah,
Alright.
exactly. I was,
You know what, Josh? You'll go after me. Ah.
Yeah, anyways, Carl, what were you saying?
Josh, let me go first then because I didn't realize that you were gonna pick mine. There's like 700 Pokemon.
I didn't know
Alright,
you
I
were
guess
gonna pick
Carl
that.
next for the next category, everyone goes and then you ask Josh.
All right, I'll put that in. All right, so Parasect's Pokédex entry, Josh, is that Parasect is actually a zombie. He's based of the parasites.
Oh, the
In real
cordyceps
life.
virus thing?
Yeah, that basically infect ants and wasps, and they control the ants and wasps. They control their mind. They basically turn into zombies. So Parasect, the Pokemon you're looking at, the reason why his eyes are white is because he's a zombie. The actual
Oh, like
Pokemon
crap.
is actually the mushroom.
What?
Yeah.
That's like some Last of Us shit right there.
Yup. So the mushroom is the Pokemon. The crab thing that you're looking at is just a husk of a zombie.
Mhm.
What?
Hollow body. I also found another entry, Carl. I hope you didn't choose
What
that
did we say about you picking?
I hope this isn't one of yours. Shedinja.
No, we're good.
Okay,
We're good
that's
there.
good, that's good.
From what I'm reading in the Pokédex entry is Shedinja's hard body doesn't move, not even twitch. In fact, its body appears to be merely a hollow shell. It is believed that this Pokemon will steal the spirit of anyone peering into its hollow body from its back. So
Yep.
it's basically just a shell of, what is it, Ninjask? Yeah, Ninjask, isn't it?
No,
Or is it
it's
Ninkata?
Ninkata.
Ah, okay, yeah.
You know how you get a Shedinja, Josh?
How, Carl?
To get a Shedinja, you have to level Ninkata up to 20, but you also have to have an extra Pokeball slot. So you need to have only 5 Pokemon, and you need to have a Pokeball in your items. And then when the Ninkata evolves into Ninjask, that extra Pokeball slot will get filled up with a Shedinja because Ninkata basically molted from its shell, and so the shell becomes a Pokemon.
He also
So-
has a Wonder Guard, which is really OP.
Wonder Guard is
Yep.
really annoying. So Wonder Guards is a passive that only Shedinja has, and it makes it Shedinja only has 1 HP, but the only thing that can damage it are moves that are super effective against Bug and Ghost. So no moves can hit it unless it's like fire, I think poison. Yeah, I don't remember what others. But it has to be super effective, otherwise it'll do 0 damage.
Yeah, another reason why like it only has 1 HP is because it's the shell of Ninjask.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you put us in a real downer, Josh. Let's raise the mood up a bit by going to the funniest Pokédex entries. Let's go with John Pierre.
All right, my funniest Pokédex entry is Mr. Mime's original Pokédex entry.
Oh my
Alright,
god.
and
Jeez,
red
He
and
was
blue.
once a man.
Is that actually it?
He had a part-time job at the
Oh,
Let me,
carnival.
I should share it with
Gosh.
you. If he's interrupted while he's miming, he will slap around the offender. That's it.
Oh god, that's even better. He
This
just
is
bitch
freaking
slaps you.
stupid.
Double slap is real.
That's fair, I think.
No, that's very fair.
I would allow that.
Gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I thought it was the thing that I mentioned earlier where Mr. Mime was a human. That was like just a joke theory that people had.
He's just a mime. And people are like, what the
He's
fuck
just
is
an
that?
actual mime that people thought were Pokemon. Alright, so Brandon, what was your funniest Pokédex entry?
Okay, so I'm on that Snorlax train. So he has an entry where he has to eat 900 pounds of food or it doesn't feel full. So what this sucker has to do is eat 900 pounds of food before he can go to sleep. And then when he finally finds 900 pounds of food, wherever he falls asleep, people wake him up with a flute and fight him. He's just trying to chill.
Oh my gosh.
But do you know how much 900 pounds of food is, though?
900
About
pounds.
900
It's
pounds.
about
So
900
it's
pounds.
900 pounds.
If he rolls into a village, that village can't even feed him. This guy's actually just a living sloth god.
Yeah,
Like,
how do they live? Like, does he
How do
need
you
the
stop
900
this
pounds
thing?
to live? Or is it just
Well-
so he can feel full?
In the
Oh, yeah.
anime, I don't know if you guys saw the Orange Islands adventure.
Yeah, yeah, I did.
Yeah, Terry, I believe, catches a Snorlax, right? Or did Ash catch the Snorlax? And they basically saw him just in a bamboo forest, just eating.
okay.
No, okay, I remember this episode. So what
Oh,
it
okay,
is
enlighten.
so they run into a Snorlax. It's blocking the way, and the village is like, we can't do anything with the Snorlax. Help us, right? So Ash and crew are like, yeah, we'll help you. We're good people, yeah. And
Yeah.
the Snorlax won't move because he's sleeping, he's already eaten or whatever. And so in order to move him, they attach ropes to him and they get logs and they roll this dude up a mountain.
So
he-
they actually got to move it?
yeah,
What?
they're moving it by pulling it on ropes and like moving each log as he goes up. So they have to bring him
Give.
back up the mountain so he can go back to the mountain and eat and sleep there in peace versus where the villagers are. It's actually hilarious.
So they have
Yeah.
to keep doing this constantly? Or is this like a one-time thing?
I have no idea. It was just an episode. Yeah.
I thought I remember seeing him just like in a bamboo forest, but it's been a while. The Orange Islands were probably my favorite episodes, though.
Oh, hey, here's a picture of Ash in an apple costume being chased by the Snorlax from that episode.
What?
Why
I
was he
mean-
in an apple costume?
Because he's trying to lure the Snorlax away, so they tried using the apple by dressing up as food. So
Are
Ash
you
will eat an
kidding me?
apple.
This is what I'm talking about, though. Like, this is kind of scary. Like, what if he can't find food? Does he just eat people? Is he gonna eat this kid? Like, if Ash didn't get away, we'll just eat him, like straight up. Because his other Pokédex entry is Snorlax can eat virtually anything, even stuff that's been poisoned or on the ground or rotten. He can eat anything. That means he can eat people.
All right, so what was your funniest Pokédex entry, Logan?
What was this, the keychain?
Oh, Klefki.
The key.
Yeah. When a predator comes near it, it just jingles its keys.
What?
What?
Yeah, that's what it said.
That's it?
You need to be more specific, cause like, so if I'm walking down a dark alley and I just hear some keys, this motherfucker's coming for me.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know,
Pokemon is such a fascinating world.
dude, being in the Pokemon world must suck sometimes. Like when you're walking, like,
Disagree.
like
100%.
no, but like, can you imagine like walking and you go for your keys and it's a Pokemon, or you're eating ice cream and it's a Pokemon, or you're
Yeah.
turning on your chandelier and it's a Pokemon?
Well,
Yeah,
they
so
have
in-
a world
so in
exactly
X,
from
the,
Pokemon.
Pokedex entry is the key collectors threaten any attackers by fiercely jingling their keys at them.
Just fierce.
Fiercely jingling, ding, 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 jingle, jingle, jingle.
Fiercely, they need to make a gift for that. Fiercely
Oh my
jingling.
No, in the subtitles, it'll just be like intensely jingling.
Jingling
Jingling
intensifies.
intensifies.
All right, so what was your funniest Pokédex entry, Yetum?
I'm trying really hard not to laugh at you.
Was none of them right?
Yet
That was not right.
He's
Carl.
trying so hard.
Get
us some
Okay.
credit.
So everyone keeps taking my Pokedex entries, but I found a new funny Pokedex entry. There's only one entry of this. It's from Emerald. Oh shoot, not Emerald. Where is it?
Super Emerald.
Someone should have come
Oh,
prepared.
it's Fire Red. So from Fire Red, this is the only time this is ever mentioned in any of the Pokedex entries. Geodude is round and it's really easy to pick up, and some people have hurled it at each other in a snowball fight.
What?
What? You want to win a
Why
fight?
would
You
you
have
throw
snow-
rocks?
No, it's not a rock. It's a snowball that punches people.
See, because they're round and easy to pick up, the people mistaken them and pick up the Geodude and use them in snowball fights.
Now,
so
I
they
feel
just
like you have
got
to feel
arms,
how
so they
heavy it
just-
is, though.
Punch
And it's a
it!
rock.
Arms!
Like that's a little shit that puts rocks in
Well,
a snowball.
Geodude
They're
can
trying to
hide
be a
its
little cheater.
arms.
Yeah, Geodude can just beat a
Geodude can
rock.
hide its arms, and it weighs. By the way, wait, guys, are you ready for how much a Geodude weighs?
5
Drum roll,
pounds.
please. Da-da-da-da-da-da. 44 pounds.
Yeah, you
Yep,
would know.
it was an accident.
Wait, so is that
Oh,
in
definitely
the
an accident.
Pokédex, or
I
is
threw
that
a
like,
44-pound snowball?
or is that like Pokemon Go status?
No, in the Pokedex, I was mistaken. It's in Fire Red and in Sun. In those Pokedex entries, it says that it is round, easy to pick up, and are thrown as snowballs.
So children are just jacked in the Pokemon universe because they're looking
Yeah.
at
No way.
40 pounds like it's nothing.
I mean, have you seen Ash? He carries around some of the heaviest Pokemon just in his arms. Like, what is
Yeah.
it? Larvitar? Larvitar weighs a ton.
Yeah,
Ash is
Larvitar is supposed to be
jacked.
heavy as hell because it's supposed to like eat a ton of rocks and condense
Yeah,
it.
it like eats mountains or something.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
Ash
it has
isn't
to eat
eating
a
it very
mountain
well.
to evolve.
Bad trainer.
Larvitar weighs 158 pounds, and Ash in the anime is just carrying this dude around like it's nothing.
Well, I feel like size and weight vary a lot between the game and the anime.
Oh yeah, like Charizard is only 4 feet tall.
I'm taller than Charizard.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
what was it? Furret is like the same size as Charizard, by the way.
That's
Yeah.
terrifying.
No, I thought
Actually, I
Furret was
think
bigger.
taller. Yeah, he is taller.
Yeah, Furret's huge. Like,
I don't know. Yeah, you see it and you're like, oh, it's a cute little rat.
oh, okay. So when it's standing up, it's full height. Are you guys ready for it?
8
Drum roll,
feet.
please. Da-da-da-da. It's 5'11".
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
that's
not as bad.
Nice.
So it's not like 7 feet tall,
I could slow
What
dance
does
with
mean?
that.
but I'm shorter than a Furret.
Me too.
Nice.
A lot of people are.
All right, so my funny Pokédex entry.
Wait, you skipped
Wait,
me,
what about
Carl.
Josh? What about
Yeah,
Josh?
you skipped me, Carl.
Josh
Yeah,
doesn't get a
Josh, what's
turn.
your
on,
funny
bro.
You don't get to contribute
Why not, Carl?
No, I want to see if
Wait,
Josh.
okay,
I wanna
first-
see-
because you're looking at my
Let's-
you're looking at my sheet.
Let me just
Josh,
W-
what?
We have to know if he's 3
Yeah.
for 3 though.
let
Yeah,
me
yeah,
see
3 for
if
3.
I'm correct on
Well,
this.
he already picked mine. He already picked mine earlier.
No, do it again.
Do it
Yeah.
He
again.
would have
Pick
picked
it
mine
again.
again. He already knows what it is because he picked it.
Okay, what is it,
Oh,
Josh?
is it that one? Oh, I was gonna
Because
say.
he picked
is
it for creepiest, but it was I put it down for funniest.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
okay.
Okay.
What's
was
your
gonna
new funny
say-
one?
I was gonna say mine was gonna be Jinx, because reading.
Wait,
this is
Jinx
this
the
is from-
Pokemon or Jinx
Yeah,
in real
Jinx
life?
Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
This is the Pokédex entry from Emerald. A Jinx sashays rhythmically as if it were dancing. Its motions are so bouncingly alluring, people seeing it are compelled to shake their hips without noticing.
Do your hips lie? Do those hips lie?
Didn't they try to
Freaking
sue Jinx
hilarious.
for being
Damn
racist?
hips don't
Yeah.
lie.
So Jinx was a racist symbol, and ever since then, the Pokemon company Game Freak slowly turned her from black to purple. That's why in the newer games you see her as purple instead of black.
I
It's
thought
kind
she
of like
was
Mr.
based off.
Popo, right?
Yeah.
I thought Jinx was based off a Japanese tradition where they wore
They-
masks,
No,
Oh,
and
she.
it wasn't
Garus?
because back then the world wasn't as connected as it is now. So when Game Freak made their Pokemon, it was more Japanese based versus other
No, but also
inspirations.
a lot of these are based off of the old cartoons, and a lot of the old cartoons portray colored people really are super racist.
See,
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought that Jinx
The
was
big
based off
lips
of
and,
There's some trend in Japanese fashion.
Oh,
where,
yeah,
like the young girls get blonde hair and
Ganguro.
they get super tanned and they put on so
Oh
much
yeah,
makeup.
that too.
Yeah,
No,
those are
it
called
is
Garus.
It is based off of that, but the thing is though, that's based off of
Blackface.
yeah, blackface.
Yeah, you go.
I forgot the name.
Was it the game that came out first, right? Or the
Cards
manga?
came out.
Oh, the cards came out first? Oh, okay.
Wait, did it?
No, I think the game did come out first, and then they
I
made.
think you're right.
Yeah, the game was so successful they just made like everything else
Because
for.
I think the game came out in like 1996.
Yes, Generation 1 is
Yeah.
1996.
Because
The
I
card
played.
game was 1999. So yeah, the games came out first.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I played the games when I was in Malaysia, and then when I moved back to Thailand, that's when I was playing the cards.
So wait, okay. The manga came out, the first one came out in 1997.
Yeah, manga was later.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So as for my funniest Pokédex entry, as
Boink.
like, thanks, Josh. Thanks, Josh. Josh already
how
stole
did-
it.
How did
It
I
was-
know?
Boink. So the Pokédex entry for black and white states that it bounces constantly, using its tail like a spring. The shock of bouncing keeps its heart beating. That's right. If it stops bouncing, it dies. This poor ham just bounces around, and like you think it's having a fun time, but it's actually struggling to live.
Nah, dude, that
Yeah, like,
ham
how do
has
they
to go
sleep?
ham.
It
They,
doesn't
they
bounce-
don't sleep. They sleep while bouncing.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have to keep bouncing.
Bouncing.
Do you want to live?
What happens when you capture it in a Pokeball?
You fucking killed it.
I'm pretty sure it goes
No,
in
no,
like
it
its own
bounces
special
forever in the
zone.
Pokeball.
You
Yeah.
gotta start shaking it like a shake weight.
No, you know what's fucked up now that I
Jeez.
think about it? On the 3D games, when Spoink faints, he falls over and the ball on top of his head falls onto the floor too. So he like passes
Oh
out.
shoot! So he's dead.
So he's not fainted, he's dead, yeah.
Wow.
Jeez.
Next time I see a trainer with a spoink, I'm just gonna give up. I don't want to kill this thing.
It's
Oh
too
my
cute.
god.
Yeah, my
I
love
thought-
of ham prevents me.
Wasn't this supposed to be your funny entry?
Dude,
No,
he goes ham
I laughed.
to live.
Yeah, we all laughed.
That's messed up, Carl. That's
Well,
messed
what do
up.
you think was the funniest entry, Josh? And you can pick mine if you want to. You better pick mine.
I was gonna say Carl.
Thanks, Josh.
You said it was
Jeez,
the
what is this
creepiest,
bribery?
I just want to say this was my Pokemon first and foremost, not yours.
I wrote it
Carl.
down
For
Oh,
sad,
did you?
Josh, not
before you
Did
even
you,
got on
Carl?
here.
Did you, Carl? Because
Jeez.
I said it first, so.
My three Pokemon was Parasect, Absol, and Spoink. JP took Absol, and Josh took Parasect
Hey,
and Spoink.
jump here, we're 100%.
Can I bring up my second place funniest?
Do it.
Alright, so I was thinking about doing Ludicolo before I saw Mr. Mime. Just because his Pokédex entry in Emerald is like when it hears festive music, all the cells in its body become stimulated and it begins to move in rhythm. It does not quail even when it faces a tough opponent. So like you can just blast music and Ludicolo is forced to dance. He can't stop.
Jeez.
Damn.
Oh, nice.
Like, that's just hilarious. Though. Like you just imagine someone like owning a club and their promotion is just Ludicolos, backup dancers. Right there.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and talk about racial stereotypes.
Oh yeah, Ludicolo is yeah.
Don't they have a Trump? Isn't one of the rat
Oh,
hat
like,
as
like-
Trump?
I mean, it looks like Trump, but it's not. It's
It's not
not
based
Trump.
off Trump, but
Yeah.
it looks like Trump.
It's got the hair.
Yeah.
Oh, it has the hair, the face.
It's
Yup,
pretty
I forgot
useless
its name.
looking.
Damn.
Wow, we going there. All right.
Shots
I mean-
fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're all on the same page on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know where we are.
Yeah, we ain't hiding it.
This is definitely a Pokemon
Wait, so-
podcast.
Yeah. So should we end it
On politics? I don't even know.
on politics? How do we bring it back?
we didn't find a way to end
actually,
this.
I had another funny
Oh,
Pokemon.
please bring it up.
His name is Slowking.
Oh, I hate that guy.
What?
Wow.
Oh, he's such a
I used
genius.
to think he was cool until I watched the second Pokemon movie as an adult, and I realized how much I hate that movie. I love that. That was my favorite Pokemon movie before, but rewatching it just flipped it completely.
What's it? I'm reading the Ruby Sapphire Pokédex entry, and it says, Slowking undertakes research every day in an effort to solve the mysteries of the world. However, this Pokemon forgets everything it has learned if the shelter on its head comes off. So,
Oh yeah, because the venom
Wow.
of the shelter is what
yeah,
makes it
it's
smart.
what makes it smart. Apparently, it has the intelligence of award-winning scientists as well.
Wow.
Nice.
So he could win it with Nobel Peace Prize, guys. He
Dude,
could do
Can we
that.
talk about Slowpoke's tail? About how people eat that shit? Like it's amazing. You know, the only reason Slowpoke can even eat is because it uses its own tail as bait to catch shelters.
See,
It also
what I want to know is
shelters.
what kind of shelter he's catching, because I ain't seen a shelter that looks like that.
Yeah.
I think the shoulder changes with.
I think the shelter evolves. What
Into
happens if the shelter
Cloyster?
comes off? Is that his own thing? Like, what if he loses his tail? Is he just Slowpoke again? Is he no longer a bro?
I think so.
Oh my
Bro,
god.
you changed.
Why is there no slow sis?
I know, yeah, because there's a slow king if the shelter bites his head, right? And he gets a crown. Like, where else can he get bit? You know what I mean?
Arm.
Slow
Yeah,
bro
just like
is really weird.
slow cannon. He just punches things. He becomes one
No,
slow king.
I think the reason the head and the tail is, well, obviously the tail puts it in the water, dips it to fish. But I think sometimes he like sticks his head in the water.
That's how he becomes Slow King.
Is
Slow
Shelter
bros.
It evolves.
also
No,
feeding off of Slowpoke's life essence or something?
Yeah, I
it's
guess it turns
definitely
into a
eating him.
parasite.
It's definitely
Yeah.
those are definitely teeth on his tail. Definitely eating him.
Yeah. It
I
like
think he's
has
just
its
too
venom
dumb.
sunken into it.
I was like, I think Slowbro is actually just like he can't feel anymore. He's getting venom in his body, so like he's just permanently like comatose. He's just smiling forever.
So Slowpoke is actually not the smart one, it's actually the Shelter then.
Yeah,
Wow.
so this ties along with what I was gonna bring up earlier, is that Wobbuffet, the tail is actually the brain, and the blue body is actually just the punching bag of the tail. That's the decoy.
Makes
So
sense.
how's it saying those words then? If that's just a punching bag.
It's
Is that-
it's part of its body.
I mean,
it's
is that
able to talk.
is that like his mouth also?
So like
then?
all the vital stuff is probably stored in the tail, and everything else is just.
Oh, like the brain is in the tail, and then the rest is just a punching bag.
Yeah,
That's
he-
why Wobbuffet has those abilities.
He's just talking out his ass.
All right, and on that note, we will end the podcast.
That's a strong note.
How do we end this?
All right, guys, that was our Beluga Podpod. Thanks for joining us today.
Also comment.
What?
And subscribe.
Thanks.
Make
give
sure
us a
to
like.
like.
And follow us on Facebook.
Don't
I guess you
listen
could
to Josh.
dislike it
We don't
if
have
you
a
don't know
Facebook,
about-
Josh.
We don't
We
have
don't
a
have a
Facebook. I think we
not
only have a
Facebook.
Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter.
All right, we're done. That was it. That was
You
good.
can